What a lovely faces.
Hello, hello, everyone. What's up? I'm doing good. Nice to see your faces. Some faces again that come back. Some new faces. Wonderful. Yeah, it's nice to have your camera on because I'll tell you why. Because we're utilizing the content for our stories. It looks so much better when there is so many people on the same screen. And apparently Zoom deletes the people who do not show their faces. So then it looks like it's even more epic, like it is always. So I hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you so much for coming, guys, again, for joining us. So yeah, we'll just dive straight into it. DJ? So cute.
When the world stops moving and the days blur into one,
Take that time to connect with the music.
I know you feel like you're
Connect to an
losing,
epic emotion, an epic state that you want to feel into.
but the best is yet to come. We've been missing a connection through the distance. It feels like everything we have is going wrong.
This song is the maximum.
Fight off our demons and remember that feeling, 'cause I promise you it won't be that long. If only we could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. If only we could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. If only we could hold on. Hold on. We could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. We've been low on patience, getting lost in translation. Some days it feels like we're gonna lose it all. But if we hold on to the faith that if we're meant to be, we'll make it. And I can promise you it won't be that long. If only we could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. It's feeling like we're worlds apart.
Connect with the music
But no
here.
matter what distance
Connect
you
with the situation that you have
always
inside
in
you.
my
And I hope
heart.
create what's meaningful for you.
And I know you're
Whatever it
feeling
is.
down. But don't worry, 'cause I'll find a way to turn it all around. If only we could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. If only we could hold on. When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. If only we could When all of this is over, I'll see your face again. I'll see your face again.
Welcome. If only we can hold on to our dreams. If only we could remember every time to focus on that. To just look at what we want. To remember why we want to do it. All the good qualities that you have, everything that you have learned on your path now, all the good reasons and intentions why you want to share what you have now. Personal reasons. What it is that you want to do. Do you want to travel? Do you want to have a family? To provide to them? To have enough time for yourself so you can enjoy playing with your kids? Do you want to see more happiness in the world? So you want to share the tools that you have to regulate your nervous system? You want people to see that they can respond to life instead of responding, reacting unconsciously from the conditioning that we bathed in. You want to elevate consciousness because you realize that when we've been raised, there are a lot of things, a lot of pieces of the puzzle that have been missing. And now we're doing the work to heal it. So you're like, cool, I can be part of that change. I can be doing something. I've got something powerful to share. But why is it so hard to focus on the dream? Why is it so hard to look at where we want to go and to go there no matter what? To keep on walking the path. To face ourselves anew every time. Because you've been conditioned to see the pain and the suffering and to stop from feeling it. You've been conditioned to see the obstacles and to decide to find another path instead because you don't want to feel that, because it's uncomfortable, because it requires you to do something that you've never done before. It requires you to be doing something that you don't know how to do it. It requires you not to be you anymore. And that's hard. Because you must let go of who you think you are on that path. You must do things that are not comfortable to do. And I feel you. I feel the pain of facing something and deciding to look somewhere else to decide that this is not the path that I want to take anymore. Who am I even to teach that anyway? But the thing that this feeling doesn't let you go. You have it. It's calling you. Can't help it. It's stronger than your will. It's coming from very deep inside of you. So when do you want to focus on that? To take that path and to be like, cool, no matter what happens, I will go forward. If there are skills that I need to learn, I will learn them. I will be humble and I will realize that I don't know anything. And I will never know anything. Yet. Does that mean that I'm not ready right now to teach? Does that mean that I haven't acquired enough knowledge to share to people? You can do both. You can learn, you can practice, you can teach. In fact, I highly recommend you to do 3 of them at the same time. Because in each one of them, you've got the other 2 that are supporting the other one. When you're teaching, you're learning and you're practicing. When you're learning, you're practicing different parts of the brain for you to retain information. Limitations are tricky and they're very convincing. They tell you that you can't do that. You're not confident enough. You don't feel ready yet to jump the cliff. We're going to see today that ready is not a feeling. You don't want to feel ready. What you want is to feel confident. And confidence, we acquire it when we get comfortable outside of our comfort zone. It's a skill we learn. Welcome. And I hope that tonight you're going to get as much information as possible. Take as much note as you can. Ask as much questions as you can. Learn. Hi, guys. Oh. He's back. I'm going to tell you a little story. It's a story of me realizing at some point that my whole life, I was like a little kid in a park. I was running. I was just running. Going somewhere. Not really knowing where I was going. But I wasn't able to see the park because my focus was to run. I just kept on running and my legs were carrying me all the way to the end of the park. That's what we do most of our lives. We just run. We run, we keep on running, and we think that if we stop, there is something wrong. I must keep on running. So we keep on running again. And we get exhausted, and we never say to anyone that our legs are tired. We never say to anyone that we don't even know why we're running. Because we're afraid to share that. Because we're afraid that people will say, shut up, just run. This is what we have to do. We have to run. So you must run. The thing is that eventually you will fall. Your feet will cross one another and you will find yourself being on the ground. Now, what most people do when that happens, they get up and they keep on running again because they can't stop. Eventually, I realized after falling that I could stay on the ground a little bit. And as I was on the ground, I started to look around, and I started to see the park in which I was running before. I started to see that there were so many beautiful trees that I had not seen before. There were so many butterflies that I wasn't in capacity to perceive because I was too focused going in a place that I don't even know where it was. So as I started to look around, I started to enjoy just being on the ground from that perspective. I could see some things that I had never seen before. And I realized that in my head, I had a voice telling me to get up. I had a voice telling me to start to run again.
Yeah, don't know.
And I noticed that this voice didn't have to lead my decisions every time. Because I could actually stop and stay on the ground and understand that it was just a thought, an emotion that was telling me run, but I did not have to run. And I was quite enjoying to be on the ground and to look around and to discover a whole new perspective of life. When I was on the ground, then I started to get up and to realize that as I was standing still, I could see so many people running in so many different directions. And I could see and I could sense that, wow, this was me not long ago. And I can see those people running and they're tired and they're exhausted, but they don't want to stop. Just making sure that everyone is on mute so we don't get distracted. That will be sweet for the journey of everyone. What I started to realize also, as I was on the ground, as I started to get up and to look at that park, I recognized that there were other people that had stopped to run. And I recognized that we could look at each other's in the eye and give a little look of recognition and a little smile. A smile that was saying, I see you, brother. I see you, sister. That's a good place that we just have arrived. This park, everyone has it. And running, everyone is doing that inside of ourselves. We're running, chasing something, wanting for something for the external, something physical to please us and to make us feel good so we can have a sense of what happiness is. And then when we have it, well, we want something else. Because inevitably it's not about the physical object or something that I can acquire in my life that will make me feel content. But it's actually about me looking where I am right now in the middle of my park and finding that fulfillment already. Now, the great thing about that is there is a component that's very important. When you want to do something in your life, you will have to take action towards that. If you want it, if you know that there is something particular that you want, taking actions is mandatory. It's one of the steps of creation. You think about something, you speak about it, you might write about it, and then you do something. But as you do it, you can gently walk. You can enjoy the process and understand that the destination that you're looking at is an illusion. Because whatever it is that you are pursuing, the only place that you will always find yourself with is that axe that you have inside of you, your breath, your heart that's beating in this chest. That is the only thing that's real for you. Anything else is just a distraction, something that is bringing you outside of this reality to tell you that you must do something. You have arrived, and it's here and now. Now, if you want something in your life, good. Recognize that when you are in the park and when you look at everything and you are all of a sudden super slow compared to everyone else because the world is moving very fast in this park. But you can decide wisely and consciously that I can now choose the path that I want. And I can look at any direction right now. I can start to walk anywhere where I want. So what do I want? What specifically do I want? Ask yourself this question. Write it down. Answer that. What is it that you want? If you had no fear whatsoever, what it is that you truly want. Now that it's a perspective you can have when you stop running in that park. And when you look at all the different areas of this park and you can realize that I can walk to any direction right now. The direction that you would choose will show you obstacles. And that's here for you to learn how to let go of who you thought you were. The obstacles are here for you to learn how to recondition yourself, to expand your neurology, for you to think in this new perspective, and for you to learn how to feel in this new reality. The thing is, when people start to walk the path that they have chosen, then they face an obstacle. And instead of learning a skill that they will need probably to go either above, around, or through the obstacle, they bounce on it. And that's too hard. Just muting another person. When they bounce on this obstacle, instead of finding a way to go through, to go around, or to go above, they walk away. They look at something else because it's too uncomfortable. Because out of a sudden, my whole system is reacting, is under alert, and I have no idea what to do. And I start to judge myself for the decisions that I've made. And I start to really go back in the conditioning thinking that tells me that, who am I to step away from this normal life? Who am I to think I'm entitled to share this, to share that, to earn my own money, to live the life that I want? That's coming from every direction. You can't help it. It's anchored deep inside of you. There is no other way than to face that, to recognize fully that it's there, and to accept that it's our responsibility to change that. You don't have to. You have the choice. But that path is probably the most rewarding one because it humbles the shit out of you. It shows you that, yeah, I've got a lot to learn about my own regulation. I have a lot to learn about stepping into my insecurities, stepping into my fears, my own judgments, my fear of rejections, my fear of not being seen, my fear of not being able to deliver to people. You're going to face that. I'm just warning you right now. That's coming up to you. And that's a price not to pay. I would say that's the unfolding to unravel. Because behind that, there is freedom. Because when you change and rewire your conditioning, out of a sudden, you're not in the cage anymore. Now, the funny thing about that cage is we think we are in a cage, but the door is open. And we find ourselves comfortable in that cage. We might think and we might say to the rest of the world, to our friends, to our family that, oh, I can't do that. I can't this because of the boss, because of my job, because I don't have time, because life is not easy. You're putting yourself in a cage. And the cage is wide open. And it takes balls and responsibility to realize that. To realize that there is a door that's open and you can. That responsibility, not many people take it. Because it asks you to change everything. Everything you might think you know about yourself, about the relationship you have around you, everything is going to start to shift. And a lot of people stop themselves to step into that because they're like, well, the people around me, they think I can't do it. Cool. Because when you start to change, you have your environment that start projecting the non-desire of the image they hold about you to shift. So that might happen. Don't take it personally. Or if you do, just notice that. And remember that it's just because they're not in capacity to love you right now. Because unconsciously, they might not be aware of that. But the image that they hold about you, that they have created about who they think you are, starts to change because you start to change. And the great thing about perception is projection is that the image they hold about you, it's a projection of them. So the moment you start to change, they start to realize that they can change too. And that is a responsibility that they don't want to take. So instead of changing themselves, they will want you maybe to stay in the box that they have created for you. That's fine. Let them put you in a box. They will put you in a different box. In the same way that we put everyone in a box unintentionally. Trust what you want. Trust that your vibration, when you will start to be on that path, will attract the people that are changing also. When you're going to be on that path and when you're going to be, if some people already are here and they are a little bit ahead of you, maybe they start to have already some clients in whatever that they do. And those people attract people who also are making clients. It's just a vibrational match. And then when you start to do something different, you will match people who are doing that thing differently. But do not wait for the environment to change, for you to create that change inside of the environment, on the environment that you have inside of you. Your inner landscape is the first thing that you want to look at. Make that shift inside. Your environment will shape accordingly. It's also more likely that sometimes your environment is not reflecting truly your potential. Cool. Ask this question to yourself. Do I need to change environment? Is the environment that I'm bathing in right now, is it something that's benefiting me? Is it in alignment with what I want to do? If not, what can you do to change that? I just want to remind you that here, we don't blame ourselves. We don't blame others. We only take responsibility to make a change. Go at your own pace. Walk. You don't have to run. It's just a matter of you deciding to change little things at a time and to calibrate on that. And if you're one of them who just like to change everything, just do that. Go for a massive change if it pleases you. And be gentle on yourself. Love yourself. Be gentle, take care, and also be disciplined. Remind yourself that things get done by getting things done. Eventually, when you will stop running in that park that you are inside, and you will start to look at the direction that you want to choose, and you will start to walk that path. Things will come along the way. And they will come faster if you're not caught into the projection from your past to the worried future that you're creating. So it's a matter of you recognizing that. It's a matter of you noticing that you have thinkings that is not benefiting the way that you want to live your life. Make sure to keep a very good awareness on your thinking, because the way you think designs the way you feel. And how you feel is most of your vibration. And your vibration creates your reality. So how you think is creating your reality. What is the first thing that you think about when you get up out of bed? Are you thinking of what you want? Are you thinking of taking some actions towards creating that change? Or are you thinking about all the times that you could have sit down and create that change? That might not look massive, but the difference creates a difference like night and day. Think about what you want. Write it down. Be very specific. 6 months from now, what it is that you want to create. And take the time to be like, cool. Do I need to learn things in order to create that? Probably. Because if I knew how to do it, it would already be done. So it's because I don't know how to do that I haven't done it yet. And eventually you will realize that it's just about systems. It's just because we don't know how to do it. Because that hasn't been taught to us. And the learning process sucks because it makes us feel like we don't know. And that we don't like. But that's humbling. Learning is creating yourself anew. There are 3 things that the people who come and join us, they struggle with. The first thing is they don't really feel confident to start to teach, to start to share their wisdom. They think they need to know more before taking that action. But that thought alone doesn't actually make them learn about new things. So they just know that they maybe don't know enough, but they don't do anything about that. The second thing is they feel they need to feel ready before taking action, which is tangled with the perfectionism of they need to make things perfect before putting themselves out there. They need to have the best cameras, they need to have the best text and the best ways of sharing their knowledge. So they wait. They try to make it perfect, but at the end of the day, it never is. So they don't put action. They don't actually share what they have created. Perfectionism is very handy when you are creating and you can utilize that quality to make it better. But remember that something that's not done is not as good as something that's not perfect, but that's done. Because you will learn how to make it better along the way. When you feel that you're not ready, what you might not be telling yourself actually is that you actually feel uncomfortable thinking and putting yourself in front of the action that you want to take. As I was mentioning, it's just a matter of learning how to feel confident into something that you have never done before. And that comes with consistency. You do it, you realize you suck, you realize you judge yourself, and you're like, cool, all right, that can be done better. I'm going to do it better. And you do it again, and you keep on doing it again and again. And then you share it eventually, and you're like, cool, I'm satisfied with that, but let's share it now. Because if I don't share it now, tomorrow I will look at it, and my perspective on it already would have changed. So I will be like, oh my God, I can't post that. This is so bad. This happens all the time, guys. This is completely normal. We judge ourselves constantly. That's okay. Do it. It's not about it being perfect. It's about you learning how to do things different. It's only because you judge yourself from others' perspective that you stop yourself to believe that you can. This self-judgment is just completely affecting our life in tremendous ways, stopping us to accomplish things that are so meaningful for us. But we constantly think about what others think about us. We spend so much energy into that. And the thing is, because we get inspired by other people who are doing great things out there on socials, we compare ourselves from what they do. So we look at what we think is perfection and we're like, damn, I'm not there. And we start to do something and we're like, oh my God, this is terrible. People are going to think I'm a joke. Do it no matter what. Doesn't matter. Those voices inside of your head, they will fly away. It's only because you decide to listen to them that you make this a reality for yourself. I repeat that. It's only because you have, what did I say? It's only because you listen to them that you allow them to become a reality within you. And you allow them unconsciously. Because the trigger, the moment that we face, the moment that we see that reel that inspires us and that also makes us feel that we don't know, that appears so quickly that the strategy that runs inside of our brain doesn't even give us a chance to think differently. So I'm already feeling bad and I haven't even seen it coming. So I open my reels, just taking an example here. I open my reels, I see a reel that's amazing. And I'm like, oh, this lady is just so good. And then I think about, okay, cool, maybe I can post a reel today. And then I'm going to create content. And I just think of that. It happens in a second. And then I'm like, oh, but this is going to be so awful. I have no idea what to say. So I just saw something. I just heard something, which was a reel. I saw the reel. And 3 seconds later, I start to feel embarrassed and shameful because I think I'm not worth it. What we do in our training is that we are nurturing mindfulness and awareness for you to recognize accurately the type of thinking that arises within the mind, for you to recognize accurately the type of emotion that you have inside of the body. So you can learn how to regulate your nervous system and to slow it down so you can create space in between those unconscious strategies that are being developed. So you can, in between, before you start to feel embarrassed and shameful, you can think about, okay, here we go. What it is that I want to focus on right now. Because this is happening. I can feel the trigger. Cool. What do I want to do now? It's because you have space that you can choose differently. People who do not have space, they go into their loop. And here goes the pattern. If you create space and if you allow yourself to understand how to regulate your emotions and your thinking, then you can create a pause. You can stop in the park. You can realize that you don't have to run. And then from that perspective, you're like, cool. Is there something else that I can do right now? Because I'm sensing myself, the emotion is still there, but what is it that I can do? Now, I know that if I distract myself with something else, things is not going to be done. but what can I do now? How can I reinvest this energy right now that I'm saving inside of the path of resistance that I face, so I can get a resolution on that? The program that we have is a commitment. It's a 21-day program. We have meditation every day. We engage ourselves. We take cold showers. We are writing down our limiting beliefs and perceptions. We are learning techniques to learn how to cut away the looping pattern of the story, the thinking, and the feeling. And it's only because we are not really investigating how we think and we are not really understanding how we feel that we get stuck into this loop. So we learn how to create a separation in that and to drill our awareness inside of the sensation of the emotion. So we can merge with that energy and we can let it flow and be released within the mind body. Then from that place, because your nervous system has slowed down, we come back into the thinking, that situation, and we're like, cool, how can I make this better? Because there is always a solution. And the solution is just a way of thinking. So it's a matter of me understanding that I do not know how to think better right now in this solution, in this situation. So how can I improve what's happening right now so I can start to develop a way of thinking that is different than what I usually think? And because I think differently, I feel differently. Because I feel differently, I change my reality. It's a 3 weeks program where we are in a group container where you guys get support. We do plenty of exercises for you guys to learn how to share how you feel and how you think without judging yourself. You learn about neuroscience, the Dhamma. You learn how to practice all those routines. And you have a test. You have a test coming from the ebook that you are receiving for you guys to narrow down this knowledge. And that's the only thing that you have to do, is to commit to that and to drill your full attention to whatever the limitation that is coming up in the mind. So you write it down. Writing it down, just release the emotional. You write down about how you think, objectively. Don't associate with it and sense all that pain, but just being like, cool, I just noticed that I thought I couldn't do it today. Cool. So write it down. I thought that I can't do it. Okay, so what exactly can't you do it? What exactly that you can do? Cool. So it's when you're doing this that you think that you can't do it? Cool. How do you feel when this happens? Cool. Write that down. Is there something deeper that comes from you to have this symptom? Yeah, maybe I just think that I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough in anything that I do. Cool. So you see that appearing in different areas of your life? Cool. So you learn how to ask yourself questions like that, and you can start to see where this thinking is having an effect in your life. So you can focus on that. You can bring back that limitation. You can dive into this emotion, and we learn how to move with that. So we can convert this energy and change the thinking and taking action. Is that something that I must do? Is that something that I need to do in this situation for me to feel better? Yeah, maybe I can do this. Maybe if I talk to my partner and if I create a space where we can have this conversation, I will feel better. Cool. Can I do that? Yeah. Maybe I can have a call with my mother and say something that I've never said to her because that's heavy on me. Maybe I can start to post stories here and there on my Instagram so I can feel confident into then soon creating a reel where I can talk in front of the camera like that. Whatever it is in relation to the reason why you came here, guys. Why did you come here today? What it is that you want, that you think you cannot, that you think you can't do, that you think you struggle with. What do you believe about yourself that stops you to already have that thing in your life? What are the other areas in your life where this is creating a leak of your energy? The more you investigate, the more you will find. And the more you find, then the more you can drill that awareness into really how you feel and learn how not to be in the stories anymore and to create a change. It's a commitment. If you're ready to take that commitment, you're so welcome to come and join. But it's a commitment. Is that something that is meaningful for you? How badly do you want that? What type of changes can that make? If you believe that you can, and if you believe that fears and insecurities, I'm not going to lie to you, they're always going to be there. It's just a matter to learn how to live with them and how to feel comfortable with them and how to know them so well so you know exactly when they're popping up into your life. Because out of a sudden, most of your life then becomes conscious. So you're becoming conscious at every little triggers that appear, whether it is in your business when you take action, whether it is in your relationships, whether it is when you're in relation with your family, or when you go outside and meet strangers, because you know yourself so much, because you see the fruits of the roots of your pains and wounds. So you know how the persona inside of you works. You know the limitation, and you're like, oh, I know myself. I know that I shit my pants quite a lot in this situation, and that's okay, because I've done that. I can do it again. And because you have that confidence and that congruence, because you're taking those actions, you have an impact incredible on others, because you're just living what you praise, because you're doing it, because you're taking those actions. So you're like, guys, I can help you because I'm walking the path with you. I'm just a little bit ahead. And people feel that. I know that it can be tough to hear that, but I want you to talk to those parts inside of you, because I want you to sense that they're here and they just want your attention. They just want your attention. But what we do is that when they pop up, we run away from them. So we're basically telling to ourselves, no, not this time. There's a little part inside of you that is very fragile, and also that holds all of your power and potential. It's your unconscious mind, your inner child. When you face situations like that, it shows you situations and opportunities for you to get resolutions on some thinkings and some emotional. If you say not now, then the message is understood. It's like, okay, cool, not now. So I'm going to show that later. But the more you wait and the more you keep on putting time in the way, the more it's difficult to actually learn how to go with the resistance, because you've completely conditioned yourself every time to be like, no, not now, tomorrow, I'll do it later. There's no tomorrow. The same awareness that you have right now that is listening to me is going to be the exact same awareness that you will experience tomorrow and the day after. You've got this. You've got this so much. Remember days where you just feel so fucking incredible and you're just so fucking excited and you're like, oh, I can do anything I want. Great, you can. Anchor that. Remember that. And when you feel like that, just invest this energy into what's meaningful for you. Just invest your energy into spending time with your friends, with your family, doing what you like, but also doing what's important. And what's important might not be totally exactly what you like, but you know that it's important for you. Know that you have that power. It's just a matter of perspective inside of you. You know that when you have a bad day, you look at everything in your life and everything looks so wrong. And you're like, oh my God, I'm such a massive piece of shit. You look at everything you've done and you're like, oh, this is how, and then you feel amazing. And then you look at everything, and what happens is inside your conscious mind is just the channel of your awareness. So whatever it is that you're looking at is exactly what you're going to find. So when you're looking at things from a place of sadness and shame, everything that you see and perceive around you from your past, from what you want to accomplish in the future, everything looks sad and shameful, because that's literally the place of awareness and the stream of this observing power that you're projecting into anything that is in front of it. But the moment that you feel incredible, everything looks fantastic, because it's coming from your vibration and you feel joyful and you feel peaceful and you feel in ecstasy. And you look at all the problems that you have, and even from that place, you're like, I've just learned so much. It's about remembering that. And to remember that is to practice it on a daily basis. There's no secret. Practice it all the time. Make sure that you understand how you think, so you can look at it and not let this story tell you what to do instead. So you can take time and you can be like, no, I see you and I love you because I know you're a part of me, but not now. The next program that we have starts the 1st of May. We have 3 lives per week. On Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays for 1.5 hours. From 8 p.m. Bangkok time, which is the same time that you had when we started this meeting, until 1.5 hours later. On Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. It's a group container. You guys have some self-teaching to do prior. And you learn how to engage people in the street, so you can put yourself in places where you're facing your fear of rejection, so you can find resolution on that. And you can be like, okay, let's pretend that this is a phone. You're like, cool, I'm doing this program and I'm engaging people in the street for 2 minutes. Is that something you would like to be part of? And they're like, yeah, sure. And sometimes they're like, no, thanks, I'll pass. Good. Because you want that too. You want to face what it feels for people to say no when you're like so joyful, and well, you might actually be entirely joyful because you might have some stress. Cool. So you're going to go with that too. You're going to face that and you're going to keep on going. Because you're going to learn that no one is rejecting you. Rejection is just a perception that we have. It's because you're rejecting yourself at the first place that you think that people are rejecting you, but people are not rejecting you. If they can't love you for who you are, they're rejecting a part of themselves. Just a matter for you to feel that hole when that happens, and to be like, cool, how can I support myself now? How can I love myself, and to make sure that I'm safe, that I'm lovable, that I'm amazing. Because you are. Who doubts that? We've all doubted it. And we all do. There are some days where you just look at yourself and you're like, damn, I do not like myself today. It's okay. You don't have to love yourself every day to keep on being on track. Trust me, you don't have to. I'm saying that because I'm in a place where right now you're like, cool, that dude has done so much, which is true in a sense. But I can assure you that it's not about the destination again. It's about how you feel on a daily basis when you're going through the process. Because there is no destination. Destination is right here in your heart center. Close your eyes. The destination is just you breathing and sensing the rising and the falling of your abdomen. That, if you can feel that, and if you can anchor into that right now, and if you can allow yourself to realize that there is nothing else that is more a reality than this, then you have arrived in a nice place inside of you. Because no matter where you are, no matter what you have, no matter what you have done, no matter what you haven't done that you wished you had, all the blame and all the thinking is just mental processes telling you this and that. But if you stop that voice, and if you just connect with your breath, and if you just connect with the sensation of your body, that is a very good reality. Because that's the only one that's happening right now. There is nothing else that's happening right now. And even me just saying that right now, it's already gone. Now you might repeat that sentence that I just said in your mind, but as I finish it, it's already gone. It's already in the past. But what's still here is you being present. And that means you not being cocked into what needs to be done tomorrow. Not being cocked into how heavy was the day yesterday, or it's you just being here, and to recognize that the space you are in right now is literally the only thing that exists in this very moment. I'd like you to just disconnect from the screen, and I'd like you to look above the horizon, 20 centimeters above, and to focus on one point, 20 centimeters above the horizon. and focus on that point that you choose. And I'd like you to drill your full awareness into that point. Penetrate your full focus into it. There is nothing else than this point and the sound of my voice. You're completely connecting with that dot. Now, I'd like you to very gently, you're going to navigate with your eyes, and you're just going to slowly and gently look around in the space. And I'd like you to see the space with everything that's in there, and to look at it from a perspective that maybe you haven't seen before. And just be very present with that space, recognizing that you are in the space. And you keep on drilling that awareness anywhere that you're looking at, and you pay attention to details. You might want to look behind you, on the right, on the left, just taking your time just to observe this room that you think you know, but that you might maybe spend a lot of time not realizing that you're in it. Now come back here. This is you looking at the park. You can do that anytime. I actually highly recommend you to do that every hour of your days, to remember to do it and to trigger this conditioning so you can enter this state of being and you can completely merge with the space. And in that space, every negative state, every negative emotion that you have, they disappear because you are right here. You're not here anymore. You are in space. You're part of it. In that moment, however long you can hold it until another thought catches, you're literally in unity with everything. The more you nurture that on a daily basis, the more you will find truer and truer aspects of reality. You don't have to read thousands of books, guys. Just nurture your present moment on a daily basis. When you eat. Focus on your food. Enjoy the sensations of your mouth as you're throwing your tongue from one side to another to move that food inside of your mouth. Close your eyes, get into these sensations. Take small bits. Just enjoy. Enjoy swallowing. Look at the food. Smell it. Bring the whole experience with all your senses. So you are here with the food. And you notice when you're thinking about work, and you're like, no, I'm eating now. And then you think about what happened yesterday. No, I'm eating now. And you keep on coming back now every time. When you're showering, enjoy washing yourself. Just be present with your touch. Look at where you're touching yourself. Look at your skin. By being present in your shower, you might even take less time than when you're not being present. Because you might be thinking of different stories and you end up being in your shower 6-7 minutes. But if you're fully present with your shower, you can have a shower of 3 minutes. It feels like you had a shower for 10 minutes. Presence will give you so much time. So much time. You're literally in a different reality when you're being cocked into thinkings. If you train yourself and if you train the mind to come back now every time, you're going to have so much more energy. You're going to have so much more clarity. Remove distractions. If you're following people on Instagram that do not bring value in your life, just unfollow. Make a cleanse. Unfollow people from Facebook that do not benefit your time and energy. Watch the time and the moments that you're watching videos that are not providing you any value. And just make a note of that and being like, cool, I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm wasting a lot of time and energy. I'm literally giving my vibration to others to become a product of their own creation. How about I take this energy back and I'm creating myself? Eat well. Food is so important. Food is so important. They all say it, we know it, but we forget about how important it is. It literally changes your vibration from a day to another. Don't eat too much. You don't have to. Notice when you want to eat and ask yourself, cool, am I really hungry or am I avoiding something right now? Okay, I was maybe supposed to work and then I'm facing some emotions and then I'm like, I want to eat. What can I do instead? What can I do instead now? Not tomorrow, now. Can I break the pattern right here? Can I do something different? Move on a daily basis, 10 minutes. It will fire up so many different hormones that will make you feel hopeful and that will make you feel excited, even though you're not thinking about something in particular. But it will here again level up your vibration. So from that place, you can be like, cool, what do I want to do today? I've got a day off. What do I want to do? Move a little bit. Move your spine. Your spine hold all of your power. Christina is going to send you a message right here on the chat. It's a message for you guys to reach out to us on emails if you want to have more information about the self-talker programming. And you also have the link to book a call if you're like, cool, I'm ready to jump the cliff. I want the change and I'm committed. And you'll be in call with Danita. Danita, do you want to say hi? So this is Danita, guys. You're going to be on call with her if you want to join us. Then we have Dina, who is talking with you on Instagram. So yes, she's taking care of everything there on this platform. And then we have Christina, who is taking care of our emails and sending you emails also for each and every masterclass and follow-ups. So yes, we're here. If you have any question, just send us a text. We'll gladly answer. If you need some information about anything, if you need some support, and think about that. Think about what's meaningful and just take that time, whatever it is that you have next. Just take that time without your phone, just alone, just go for a walk, 15 minutes walk, just take some time for yourself just to digest all that and to think about, cool, what was impactful from his words? What is it that I resonated with very much? And what does that mean to me? Is that something that I want? Is that something that I want to do? Is that something that I can do? Am I willing to do that now? Or next month? And to remember that, again, we're not blaming ourselves, but we're taking responsibility. We're not blaming anything else in the environment from the external, but we're taking responsibility upon how we feel. So yes, we'll be just taking a couple of questions for 15 minutes, 15, 1-5. And then tonight we'll have an early sleep. We'll probably do a longer masterclass next week. So yes, if you guys have any question, just stay around here a little bit. You can raise your reaction button hand. So you click on reaction down below. Then you have raise your hand just like that. So I can see your hand. And then you can lower it down. There's no question. After all those informations, no question. Yes, Dimitri. Well, what is your name, Giovanni, today?
Because that's Giovanni.
Really? I thought it was Dimitri. Oh my God. Sorry about that.
Hi.
Hi, bro.
So, when we was speaking about the emotions that pop out, it came in my mind this answer. So, for you, is it possible that some bad emotions come from old lives, or maybe something that you don't know? Because I love dealing with when they pop up 2 times or maybe be 10 times per day, but sometimes they pop out some strange emotion that I try to learn, I try to study it, I try to know it, but I can't, and I every time I don't know what it is. And not always is a bad, good or a bad thing. It's really a strange thing, not bad and not good. Something that I don't know, and I don't know how to know it.
Gotcha. Because you might not be able to know where it's coming from and why it's there. The perspective that we have here is that whatever your unconscious mind, which is a stream of knowledge from way before your experience of this life, from your lineage, and in my beliefs, also from past lives. Now, if you have different beliefs, you might believe in it differently. But the DNA is transmitting a code like that. And that's previous conditioning and previous traumas of previous experiences of souls that were here before you. When the emotion and the feeling is inside of you, we consider that your unconscious mind is telling you that you can get resolution on that. Whether it is coming from this life for you, or from past lives, or genealogical conditioning, if it's there, it's because you can. So we take responsibility and we're like, cool, I'm cleansing myself, not just for myself, but for the next generations. So even if consciously I do not understand where it's coming from and what that means, if I can feel the emotion and if I can identify what it is, the story doesn't really matter. But if I can feel deep grief or sadness and I'm like, I have no idea where this is coming from, cool, doesn't matter. It's here. How can you maneuver between that?
So always deal with it and never avoid it.
It's like not doing your bed. If you don't do your bed, you'll come back home, it won't be done. So you won't be able to avoid it because at the end of the day, it will be just right here in front of you. And if you don't clean your shit on a regular basis, it's you putting yourself into that bed again. So we're looking at it from the perspective of if you're in a place where you're not able to step away from the distraction, here again, that's okay. And how can I learn to create a new strategy so I can step away from distracting myself and I can drill that full awareness into finding solution and resolution on it now. Because the unconscious mind, when it brings something up, what it says is that, I believe you're ready. Do you want to take responsibility upon that? Are we doing something about that?
Thank you.
Your pleasure, brother. Yes, Linda.
Hi, Thomas. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you for all your wisdom. I wanted to share, basically, I've been dealing with the fear of rejection, obviously, since a child. I'm very aware of that. And the need to feel like I say the right thing, or, yeah, people please, I would think. So I suppose my ultimate fear came true. I work with people with OCD through healing modalities and regulation of the nervous system. So I'm putting content out there that's very, what would you say, your general, this is how you get better with OCD. It's outside the box, you know, the medical model and so forth. So because of my fear of rejection, I actually had been attacked kind of online by numerous other therapists. And that has kind of, obviously, that was traumatized. I have to say, it was really traumatizing. I was obviously reliving this rejection.